Hi there, it's Tamara Doris, your Sacramento real estate professional and your Sacramento real estate professor. And I want to talk today about something that may be a little bit of a sensitive subject. And I want to preface it by saying this is in no way political at all. I don't have any political opinion on this. And I'm saying that before I dive in because I don't want anyone to think that I, don't have a heart or that I'm, whatever. I have a very definite stand on it. I'm looking at this purely from a perspective of a real estate professional. And it's about people parking in their cars or their old mobile homes, motor homes, parking in front of your house. And the reason that this comes up is because I recently had a listing and there was this old, outdated motorhome, like something from the 70s. And it was parked in front of my listing's house. Like, there's my listing, and across the street is this old, it's an eyesore. There's just no nice way to say it besides an eyesore. Now, I'll do another video later on about the legalities of squatting, but it's not unlike squatting in that you just can't pick up the phone and say, hey, tell these guys to move. And again, this is where I don't want to seem like I'm heartless. I understand that there are some people, and the appropriate terminology now is unhoused. But homelessness is a huge problem, and it's in every, as far as I know, it's in every state, and California is no exception. We have a homeless situation here. However, all you should worry about, or all you should care about, is if someone is camping out in front of your house and you're trying to sell your house, that's going to be a problem. And if you're trying to buy a home and you go house hunting and you see an encampment or you see someone that's living there that doesn't live there, that's going to dissuade you. So this applies to both buyers and sellers, but I'm really speaking to sellers because if you are trying to sell a property, it's kind of going to be on you to make sure that nothing's going on around. So you asked me, how do I do that? Well, I'm going to tell you, and I do want to say that if you live in an incorporated area of Sacramento, like for example, Citrus Heights is its own city. Sacramento is an incorporated city. I live in Carmichael, which is Sacramento County, but it's unincorporated. So we have different rules. And so you'll have to check because I didn't go and check all of Sacramento. But I can tell you in the unincorporated areas like Carmichael, where I am, the rule of thumb is that a person or people can park on a residential street. Yes, even with a big motorhome. It seems when I was a kid that nobody was allowed to do that, but apparently they can do that for 3 days. And the thing is that once 3 days happens and they're still there, you're going to have to assume the responsibility of coming back and checking. And so who do you call? Well, you call 311. That is for non-emergencies. Do not call 911 over someone parking in front of your house, but 311. And then you will be in touch with both the Sacramento Sheriff as well as parking enforcement. And they'll come out, and in this case, they came out to the house. They knocked on the motorhome door. The people who were staying in the motorhome were not there, and the car that they follow around with was not there. And so they put some sort of a tag or a marker on their car, and then the next thing I knew, and it was 3 days later, they came back with a big tow truck, because a motorhome is huge, right? A big tow truck came and hooked it up from the back. It pulled it out on a side street, and then it unhooked, and then it went around. And I guess because it's not safe to carry a motorhome from the back end, right? So they wanted to tow it from the front end. So they did that. The sheriffs were there also. And if I'm not mistaken, because I went by to check on it, I believe that there were also some undercover detectives there. There were 2 unmarked cars. So I'm guessing that that's not the common case for loitering or squatting on the sidewalk, whatever you want to call it. So maybe it's possible, and I'm certainly not suggesting anything, but I'm saying maybe it's possible that there were some criminal activities involved with this particular motorhome. Maybe there were some drug dealings going on. I don't know. I only care about real estate. And I'm going to be the first person to tell you, with 30 years under my belt, the first person to tell you that in Sacramento, we can have situations of squatting, but we also have situations where people will park in front of your house. Now, it doesn't happen. I've lived in this house that I live in probably 35 years, and it's never once happened. Never once. And I live in the same area where that listing I was talking about was. So it's very rare, but just be aware that when you go to list your home, if you've got someone doing that, number one, you have to disclose it. If it's going on when your house is on the market, you've got to disclose that on your transfer disclosure statement, on your seller questionnaire. So you really, really want to pay attention to the rule of 3 days. And that means day one, you call. And I would say, at the risk of being extremely strict, I would say if you see someone that doesn't belong in the neighborhood and you suspect that they're living in their car, out of their car, and they're in front of your house where it could affect your property value and you are listing your house, I would call parking enforcement that day. I would. If you wait till after 3 days, then you have to go through all the, can you prove it was there 3 days and all of that. I would call them on day one, I would call them on day two, and I would call them on day three until they have it towed. So I don't mean to sound like I'm a heartless woman being just really, not caring about people who are unhoused. I don't mean it at all. I truly believe that we should do something, especially when it comes to vets. I mean, that tears me up right there. But we have these, like at Country Club Plaza, we have this big, huge parking lot where Macy's used to be. I mean, you think that they could create some sort of shelter or something? I mean, I don't know. All I know is I am 100% focused on real estate and trying to help my sellers get top dollar, trying to get great deals for my buyers. And one thing that ruins it for both of them is if a jankety old car or vehicle or motorhome is parked in front of the property, it's going to affect property values. It's going to affect whether someone writes an offer on your house or doesn't. It's going to affect, if you're a buyer, whether you place an offer or not. So keep in mind, there are ordinances, there are rules, there is zoning, there is both incorporated and unincorporated areas. So make sure that wherever you live, that you discover which area that you're in. And if you're buying a home, make sure you understand what kind of area it's in, because these things come up, and if we do nothing, then nothing happens, and then it just gets worse and worse. So hopefully that doesn't sound too heartless, because I certainly don't mean it that way. But I just wanted to make you aware of it. If you happen to be selling a home and someone is squatting on the sidewalk or living out of their car in front of your house, it's gonna have an impact on, if your house sells or not. So anyway, if you would like to talk about buying or selling a property in the Sacramento area, greater Sacramento area, just click on the link below and let's set up a time to talk. I look forward to meeting you. Bye-bye for now.